Hi, this is Mark Sargent, creator of Flat Earth Clues, and you're watching Darren Wagner's series Star Trek from a Submariner's perspective right here on YouTube, which is owned by Google, which is owned by the Alphabet Corporation, which, of course, is owned by our lizard overlords.
This is Lieutenant Jean Reese. He is a tactical officer on board the USS Discovery on the secret hideout production Star Trek Discovery. This character has a French first name and a Welsh last name, but as anyone can plainly see, he's played by a Canadian. The actor's name is Patrick Kwok Chun. Needless to say, all of this makes the character Jean Reese quite the mutt. What you may not know is that Lieutenant Reese is the great unsung hero of the secret hideout version of Starfleet and the Federation. That's right, not Saru, certainly not Lorca, and definitely not Michael Burnham. There's a term we used to use back when I was in the U.S. Naval Submarine Service that perfectly describes Jean Reese, and that term is the shit. Now, nobody is exactly sure where the term the shit came from. I've always thought it was shorthand for the shit's ice cream, but Urban Dictionary claims it is short for the good shit, and has its origins in the drug culture, where it is used to describe particularly potent drugs. I don't know, but just so we're clear, the shit is a positive term, as opposed to calling something simply shit. If something is shit, it's bad. If something is the shit, it's excellent. Got that, boomers? So why is Jean Reese the shit? I mean, if you listen to how dismissive Lorca in particular can be toward him, one would think perhaps he's not cut out for his job as a Starfleet tactical officer.
Mr. Reese, could I trouble you to fire at something?
Aye, sir.
Reese?
I see them, Captain.
He isn't exactly a Jedi with the chicks either, from what we can tell. Of course, that might have more to do with his chosen target. Seriously, man, aim higher. You deserve more than a 2 a.m. slam pig anyway. So what exactly makes Lieutenant Reese the shit? It's because he's the frickin' Jonesy of the Discovery, that's why.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's foolproof.
You remember Jonesy, right? He was the sonar technician second class on the USS Dallas in the movie The Hunt for Red October. The story was about a silent, i.e. cloaked, Russian submarine that was attempting to defect to the U.S. in the early 80s. It's a work of fiction, by the way. This never happened. Jonesy figured out how to track the untrackable Red October submarine with a simple tape recorder.
I heard something in the background, real faint. And then, after all those subs took off, I caught it again, and I managed to get it on tape. When I asked the computer to identify it, what I got was magma displacement. Sir, I'm sorry. Listen to it at 10 times speed. Now that's gotta be man-made, Captain.
$40 million computer tells you you're chasing an earthquake, but you don't believe it. And you come up with this on your own.
I've got all the...
Relax, Jonesy, you sold me.
Jonesy was played by Courtney B. Vance in the film, and that character was one of the reasons why I joined the Navy and became a submarine sonarman. The novel and film showed that an enlisted man could make a difference, at least in that particular service within the Navy. Jonesy's ability to track the Red October ended up being a pivotal part of the plot and led to the eventual resolution of the story. Lieutenant Reese could also be compared to sonar technician Lavicelli, aka Sonar, in the comedy Down Periscope. He's the one on the far right with a seagull on his head in this promotional image. Lavicelli manages to use his expertise to mimic the sounds of whales in order to throw off an enemy submarine in a war game exercise.
Is it a biologic? Sounds like a whale. Must be a whale that's moving around. Now it sounds like there's two of them.
So why is Lieutenant Reese the shit? Okay, let me set it up. In Star Trek Discovery's first season, which was a mess by the way, one of the plots was that the Klingorks had just developed cloaking technology. This enabled them to launch a successful assault on the Federation, and so it becomes vitally important that Starfleet figure out a way to penetrate this cloaking tech in order to nullify the Klingorks' advantage and save the Federation. Okay, got that? Good. Now, the next moment I'm going to show you from the show takes place before the USS Discovery figured out how to penetrate the cloak.
Sir, long-range sensors have detected the power signature of a cloaked Klingon vessel entering Pavel's orbit.
Did you catch that? I hope you caught that. Let me play it again.
Sir, long-range sensors have detected the power signature of a cloaked Klingon vessel entering Pavel's orbit.
Reese just ended the plotline. I'm still amazed by this. Reese was able to track the heat signature of a cloaked Klingork ship using long-range sensors. He could even tell what planet it was entering the orbit of on long-range sensors. As someone who has tracked enemy contacts and submerged contacts in a real-world fleet, let me spell it out for you. If you are tracking the heat signature of a cloaked ship, then you are tracking a cloaked ship. Reese cracked the code, and everybody on the bridge carries on as if the problem still persists. They totally ignore what he just said. I can't be too specific on what I know when it comes to tracking submarines, but when you track a submerged contact that is, quote, running silent, what you are doing is listening for auxiliary sounds. You're not going to hear their propeller or flow noise over the hull. You're going to be hearing, if anything, man-made noises that are repetitious. A pump, for example. It might be a lube oil pump or a coolant pump or a sanitary pump. If you are tracking a submerged contact by its lube oil pump, then you are tracking a submerged contact. That is the information sonar would then hand over to fire control so they can come up with a firing solution and put the ship's weapon on target. And yet, nobody cared when Reese did this. Why? This is one of the best examples I've seen of bad writing on the show. I call it bad because it completely dismantles the plot and thus the whole narrative world in the mind of those who are competently paying attention while watching. The writers needed Discovery to know somehow that a planet was about to be attacked by the Klingorks, but couldn't figure out how to do that without spoiling the big moment later when Burnham and company officially break the enemy cloaking device technology. So they fudged it. They pulled a fast one. Not too fast a one, obviously, since I caught it. Doomcock also caught it. Freaking dogs caught it. This is going to be the last STD-focused video I do for a while, since I have very little or very few good things to say about the show. The show has many problems, chief among them being the overemphasis of the Michael Burnham character over characters I find far more interesting, like Helmsman Detmer, and Ops Officer Awashikun, and obviously Tactical Officer Reese. We didn't even know some of these characters' names or backgrounds until the second season of the show, something that older and better Star Trek shows would have informed the viewers of in the premiere episode. As you may have noticed, this video is appearing on my channel. While older videos in the series Star Trek, from a Submariner's perspective, will still be on the Anti-Trekker channel, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, by the way, going forward the series will once again be on my channel. If you'd like to support this channel, please heavy attack that like button, and also consider buying a copy of my book, Captain Steel and Other Stories, on Amazon. It's speculative fiction, and I think you'll really enjoy it, and every bit helps.
There it is! It's beautiful! Take your hat off, boy, that's $1 bill!